Hello and welcome to episode 18 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough here with the Iron Teeth faction in Cycle 32, Day 17. Last time, we got this absolute unholy monstrosity started here. A whole 3 layers, count them, 3 layers of large barracks, topped off with a bunch of wind tunnels and mud baths and storage for food and all sorts of other fun stuff. And boy, do we have a lot still to build. And not a whole lot of materials to get us there. But we're working on it. We're doing our best. And I'm doing my best to try to keep this thing going while I'm whatevering with whatever it is I've got. I've got no idea. But we're getting through it with the power of cough drops and NyQuil, not a sponsor. Anyway, other stuff that we're going to get to today. A bunch of people have been asking, when am I going to do stuff over here? This would be a great place to grow trees, etc. And, well, the answer was I just hadn't gotten around to it, but we were always going to try and do stuff over here. That may be something we can get to today. I'm not entirely sure if I want to blast this all the way down and grow stuff down lower and then platform on top of it to put other things. I don't know that we're going to need to do that. But it could be a very good usage of space, especially with the proximity of our water wheels here for power purposes. I do think, though, we can pretty safely just get rid of this entire just disaster zone of ugly over here. Because we built the ugly. Well, we built a different ugly, but I digress. So, this is now clear. We've got a bunch of other stuff to take care of. And it looks like they've actually already filled in a whole lot of this space over here. So we're going to continue filling this in. We're going to actually raise up to this height, this whole area here, plant some more stuff. Probably going to be farmland instead of trees, just because this is going to be closer to where the beavers are, and we're already growing a whole bunch of food over here. Realistically, also going to end up demolishing this down super low, so we can have nice level farmland. Figure out some sort of irrigation solution. Although, honestly, this right here might be enough to take care of pretty much everything else we've got to irrigate. So we'll see what happens. But suffice to say, we've got a lot of stuff to get done today. And, you know, it's just going to take time. But I did want to go ahead and start by addressing one of the comments. We've got tons of comments to address, but one of the comments you guys left was specifically the braziers here do not reach this guy in the corner, and you can't see because we have the giant turbines here, but this guy in the corner. So yeah, that was something that is just kind of gonna have to be adjusted no matter what. There's also the issue, I believe the beaver bust has the opposite problem. Yeah. So what I'm gonna try to do, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna be able to do it. I just put my double platforms, and then I'm just gonna swap these. See, that was the beaver bust and the brazier, right? Yeah. So the beaver bust will just flip, and the brazier will just flip right there. So that will give us access to all of those, and everything else does reach. I did check that. So everything is looking pretty good there. And again, this is just kind of a band-aid solution, because, you know, how else are you going to take care of that? But hey, if it's stupid and it works, it's still stupid, but it works, right? So we'll just leave that as it was, and continue to address our other issues. I think starting, since these gear workshops are paused, we'll just go ahead and get rid of them. Get this whole area cleared out, because we have some space we want to fill in. And this isn't currently transmitting power anywhere, so that's totally fine. Again, the goal here is to just kind of have a spot we can continue growing stuff and not have to worry about any nonsense. And we also have the opportunity here, if we're going to elevate our industry, which may be a good idea, maybe not, but we could just completely wipe all of this out and put everything up here if we felt so inclined. That's an option that we can choose to employ. I don't know, I think I'd probably, before I make the commitment to do that, probably would like to have all of your opinions on it, because as I always say, it is a let's play, not a watch me play. I do value your input, even if it feels like I'm not doing your stuff. Keep in mind, there's like over 15,000 people subscribed to this channel, and a whole lot of people leave different comments, and it is very rare that even 25% of the comments line up with each other in terms of what people want to happen. So That's just the way it goes. Sorry, but I do genuinely appreciate seeing everybody's input, and I do very much appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch the videos and be involved in the process, because that's always a whole lot of fun. Well, let's go ahead and get this all removed now that this is no longer necessary here, and this, of course, will just end up being regular terrain, nice and easy. And remember that this is going to get raised as well. All these berries, people, for some reason, get really in their feelings about these berries not being harvested. It really doesn't matter. We've got enough right now, and we have plenty over here that can be harvested, should we choose to do so. So I'm just going to get rid of these. We're going to move along. These are all dying. They're probably at some point going to go away, but hey, for right now, these are fine as they are, so we're going to leave them alone. Just get these things moved away. This power going up here is really only going to explosives factories, coffee brewery, and the decontamination pod that is no longer decontaminating because nobody's contaminated to become decontaminated in the first place. So we'll see what happens. I'm thinking I'm probably going to want to go ahead and get rid of this whole mess here and just kind of move stuff along in a different direction, but we'll see what happens. Got plenty of stuff to take care of. Get this thing in turbo mode here and see what we can see. Now, of course, we also have a lot of connecting to do still and a lot of building to do to get these guys stuck up here. Did see a comment last episode talking about maybe that the wheels aren't all connected, but you know, it looks like they are. I don't think there's any issue with that. This is connected back here. It hasn't been fully connected because, of course, we don't have the planks for it. And that's a thing that's just going to take some time to get done. Let's prioritize these two industrial lumber mills by haulers. That'll help them out a little bit. And we'll continue doing what we've got to do. Coffee-wise, it looks like we have about the full thing of coffee that we can work with here. Got a suggestion from our friend Jason in the comments saying that we should flip these things around, which I do agree with, and I think we're going to go ahead and do. So it just streamlines stuff a little bit better, putting these back to back, I believe, well, like so, which is going to give us optimal location for a couple of scratchers. We could either do 4 scratchers, as he suggested, or we could also put some lanterns back in. I think for the purpose of getting the beavers actually exposed to stuff, the lanterns could go elsewhere, so I believe... Oh, that was on this one. Scratchers it is. Lanterns are something we could easily put in the corners here. In fact, if it's going to let me, yep, looks like it will. Nice and easy. Is it cheesing things a little bit? Yeah, it's cheesing things a lot of it. But at the same time, it's the Iron Teeth. Iron Teeth would absolutely be the people, well, beavers, to do that. And I think we need to recognize that as a fact. But, at any rate, we got our rooftop terraces here. We could also flip these guys the same way, and I think since they're not built yet, we might as well go ahead and do that just around everywhere. Give ourselves easier access to stuff. I always forget that that's possible. I always feel like I need to have everything butt up against the larger thing in the middle. But that gives me 2 spaces versus 1 before, and less paths, all that good stuff. You guys understand? A lot of you are better at this game than I am, which is saying something, I suppose. But see, this would be a good spot to put lanterns. It's not going to cover like the actual housing themselves, but all the beavers are going to be going up and down these ladders all day, so I think that is a fantastic way to solve that problem. We can take care of that way as well, and then, of course, over here, do the same thing. Really, really good usage of space. I'm glad we decided to do that way. Let's flip that as well. So hopefully that's enough scratchers. You never know the amount of enthusiasm you're going to get for some of this stuff until you have it. So that is the way that it is. Next thing we're going to have to do is just start building these barracks. But there is going to come a problem when I start unpausing these, and that's because everything on top of them has not been paused. So we need to make sure, absolutely sure of what we're doing here. I'm going to unpause this tank and this tank first, because we need to have more water storage. We need to have more coffee storage, especially if I'm going to be getting rid of the coffee thing for a little bit of time. So that is the way that it is. You know I'm going to come in here with more dirt. Is this thing still paused? No, it's not paused. But it's running, or it's supposed to be running, off of extract, which it looks like we are out of. That's not paused. Ah, it's out of bad water because somebody, it was me, ended up removing the bad water pump. And I guess the easiest way to take care of this is going to be to just put this thing probably right about here. And have a super long pathway to get to it. That's fine just the way it is. We just need to have bad water coming in. Eventually. Yeah, but we can definitely start the process of getting these popped in here so we don't get anybody trapped, ideally. I think I'm going to be good just like that. We'll let them take care of that and move on to other stuff. Obviously, a lot of these builders' huts are a little bit extra, so I do want to make sure that we have these marked as non-essential workplaces so that we don't lose beavers unnecessarily. That's looking fine. Our water pumping looks to be in pretty good shape for right now. These guys I do want to remove from down here at some point. We'll have to see what happens with that. We obviously could have some more beavers. We easily have the food and the water to support more. But if we can get our situation with the extract looking a little bit better, then we can upgrade to the advanced breeding pods. That's a very tempting idea. We can give a shot to that at some point. But yeah, I think most of the stuff we've taken care of in terms of like the big ticket panic items I was going to be concerned with, I think that's going to be fine. We've got trees growing. We actually have a pretty good capacity for getting stuff built. So I think the big problem now is we don't have a lot of planks. But again, we can fix that if we start building more industrial stuff. You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm going to want to have more stuff built up here. But like I said, I'm going to hold off until you guys can give me some feedback on that. But I think personally I want to do it. What we'd have to do is, since we have not built these water wheels yet, is these platforms would end up being replaced with overhangs. I'm thinking the 6x1s, which is going to require a whole lot of wood. But if we just had these all the way across, even just a little bit, that would allow us to have a lot of production elevated up here, and I think we could do some pretty cool stuff with it. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We'll get that taken care of. Pardon me while I take a drink so I don't completely lose my voice here. But I think that's going to be a good thing for us to get into. In the meantime, though, we can continue building this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unpause all this and have them build it, and we'll do a time lapse when my voice recovers a little bit. Alright, so we have, for now at least, all of the actual housing constructed. We've got 240 empty beds, which means we're looking at a total capacity of just shy of 360 beavers, assuming there's nothing else left over, which I don't think there is. But I think I feel pretty good about that being a good long-term number. I'm not going to start building all the stuff up here just quite yet. I think I'll leave that again as another option for you guys to choose. Are you okay topping out around 360, or do you want to add a 4th level to this and get up close to 500. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm open to different stuff. But what we need to do now is we need to focus on getting some more trees growing, because what we have right now isn't really going to cut the mustard, folks. we gotta start making some moves over here, and then over here as well. And we don't really have a lot in the way of explosives, so I don't think I'm going to be detonating any land over here anytime soon. But we do have some space over here that we can decide either needs to be blasted down or built up, or even just say, hey, you know what, for right now, we have this space and we can grow trees that's going to be good enough for me. And I think since this hasn't actually got any of the tendrils of death here, I think what's going to make the most sense is just to blast here and put in some water. So that's what we're going to do. And start planting stuff here. You know the drill. Kind of what we did over here, but instead of a farmhouse, we'll put a forester. So on and so forth. We'll just make it work. And I am going to time-lapse this process because, again, it is very painful to try to talk continuously. Sorry, but that's just the way we're working with right now. We're trying to make progress, and I'm trying not to avoid completely ruining my voice for the next couple months. Alright, so now you can see they are starting to plant the oak trees here. And again, this is going to take a while for them to grow and be harvested, but it's good preparation for the future. Just decided, you know, before we decide... I decided to decide, yeah, that's definitely how that works. But anyway, before we make a final choice on whether industry is going to go up here or not, we're going to have enough time in the game to at least grow one cycle of trees here. So I figured that's what I was going to do. I wasn't entirely sure if this fluid dump was going to irrigate all of this land, and it appears that it's not going to. But I don't know, man. I thought it would have worked, but yeah, you know, it doesn't always turn out the way you want it to. That's fine. You live and you learn, and then you move on and do something else. But I think definitely it can be worthwhile what we've got going on here. This lumberjack flag right now can just be paused because, of course, these trees are going to take 30 days to grow, and this guy doesn't need to be sitting here doing nothing for that entire time when we have so many vacancies. So we have all these berries up here. We got rid of the ones down here. I need to fill this land in, which I guess I can go ahead and do while we're sitting here talking about it. I think what I can get away with is filling that in just like so. This, of course, is going to have the same treatment rendered to it. Nope, I don't need to hit that again. That's the slash key. All we got to do now is just do what we can with what we got, because that's always how it works. Hopefully nobody gets silly-billied here. I don't think it's going to be possible, but you never know. Okay, I'm going to have to turn the gear production back on because I think we used most of those to build these large tanks. And we have a bad tide coming, which hopefully isn't going to cause any problems, but is definitely going to be a good test for if this was done correctly. So I guess we'll see what happens. All this stuff is just going to take a little bit of time to get everything situated the way we want it to, obviously. That's what we've been working toward this whole time. Gonna go ahead and get another one of these in here. And that will hopefully help us get our dynamite and extract numbers up. And here comes our bad tide. Hopefully no flooding here. I think it should be okay. Hopefully now that I have these dams here as overflow, I don't expect there to be issues. But I'm also interested to see if the change in concentration starts polluting this. I'm pretty sure it will. Because this was maybe not a 50-50, but it did have some clean water coming through it. Yeah, we'll see. It actually could have been pretty close to 50-50, but We will see what happens. I expect this to start turning red any moment now. Well, actually, it has to become desaturated with water first before it becomes polluted. So far, I don't see anything. Oh well. But yeah, this looks like it's working about as well as I could have imagined, which is very good news. Plenty of power. No overflowing, which was the most important thing. That's what I was very concerned about. Is that not marked for cutting? No, it is. Okay. I'm not entirely sure which areas are reachable up here. Okay, no, that is. Alright. Yeah, okay, see, this is our major problem here. For doing any amount of... okay, yep. Definitely gonna have to fix that. Any amount of growing of trees over here is gonna have to be, met with, fixing of these things, which I think is not gonna be too much of a problem. I'll just go ahead and hit these real quick. We're gonna need more irrigation up here, but again, this is just a temporary thing, so I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Yeah, just a little bit of living and learning. You know how it goes. Once we don't have to have any beaver transit along this thing, I think we're gonna be okay. But it's just one of those things that takes time. Just the nature of the beast. I also think, at least for right now, I can go ahead and do this bit right here. And that'll keep these guys safe at the very least. I can't speak on behalf of any of this, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, you can see that starting to go away. So that's looking pretty good. What I was going to say before I got distracted is, yeah, that never happens. This area over here needs to have the berries start getting picked. So, I will go ahead and put in just one of these guys. I guess right here is probably fine. I don't think it goes... Yeah, that actually doesn't go quite all the way back. But that's okay. Right now, this is going to be fine. For the life of me, have never figured out why this is still polluting. Like, it's not on the ground. I've got stuff underneath, whatever. Well, I think what's going to happen just for the sake of our plants over here is just pop in irrigation barriers there. This slope can get demolished, and I'll just put an irrigation barrier. I guess that's probably the only way to really solve this. We'll see what happens. It's just kind of weird behavior because of the aqueducts here. I'm not really entirely sure what to expect. But it is what it is. I am going to, just for the sake of filling our positions for right now, I know we're probably going to want the advanced breeding pods at some point, but I'm going to go ahead and put in 2 more regular pods. And hopefully they can take care of that. Oh, these 2 things are empty. We can get rid of those. That's good. That was something we needed to do. I guess I can leave this coffee and this water here for right now. But eventually, yeah, I think we're going to want to probably blast this down to be level here. And then, who knows, maybe we might need to expand our reservoir. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But I am very pleased with how this is coming along. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do. Plenty of stuff we can take care of in the future, but we will get there when we get there. And I'm going to start making gears again. We can start filling in land a little bit more. Probably reaching more or less the end-ish of what I'm going to be able to do today. But I'm always interested in doing whatever we can. That is my preference for these videos, no matter what. So I think we've accomplished some pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff here. I know I said it was going to have farmland here, but for right now I think we can just kind of leave this alone for whatever it is we're going to be working on. Hopefully nobody gets stuck in here, because that would be very, very annoying. Especially with all these other things we've got going on here. But now that we have bunch of planks. I think it's not like a perfect time to get all this stuff taken care of, but it is a good time for us to at least start the process of getting this connected up here. Cycle 34 begins. I mean, I hate to have just so many short episodes, but genuinely pretty much at the limit of what I can actually do for speaking. That's, again, why we're not having live streams for a while, but hopefully this is some sort of tide you over till the next one type of update on what we've been doing here. Getting incremental progress, even slowly, is still better than nothing. I always have thought that, so appreciate you being here, of course, Beard Boosters, your contributions as well, making it possible to keep the channel going and free of advertisements for garbage nobody wants or needs. Or I don't know, maybe somebody wants it, but I don't want to advertise it, so you folks make it possible by offsetting any possible temptation of answering the emails about, please sell my random thing on your YouTube channel. Like that. I want to play games. I don't want to sell stupid stuff unless it's stupid stuff that has my face on it, which, I don't know, maybe sometime soon. We'll see what happens. But I digress. That's going to be the end of this one, folks. Again, I really appreciate your support. I'm glad we can do this together. I'm glad we can have a positive, uplifting, and just really helpful community. I truly appreciate it. Have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.